Michael, take us back to the moment that you learned that you were getting called up to the show. Like, what were the emotions going through your mind? And it sounds like your manager down at AAA tried to play a small trick on you.
Yeah, so I was sitting in this dingy little clubhouse in Tacoma watching Seinfeld, kind of prepping. That's kind of my pregame ritual before the game, just try to loosen up a little bit, and sitting in my locker and watching Seinfeld, and my manager taps me on the shoulder and grabs me all serious faced. I get into the office in Tacoma, and the coaches are all super serious, and our hitting coach looks at me and says, "So what happened when you were in Arizona on rehab?" And kind of tried to make it seem like I was in trouble for something. And I didn't buy it, because I didn't do anything wrong in Arizona. I was a pro. So they all started cracking up and told me I was going to the big leagues. And I was just like, kind of stood there too stunned to speak for a second, and just started smiling, and I was like, let's go. So that was a pretty cool moment that I'll never forget.
You know, for you, I feel like you've been a big league caliber player here for, since at least spring training at least. But you had to get over that hurdle where you needed to get on the 40-man roster. So how much did that kind of test your patience? And you said that you stood there in a moment of disbelief. How big of a hurdle is this for you to clear for your baseball career, because it changes overnight for you?
Totally. Yeah, I mean, that's the hardest part about this game, is honestly just getting your foot in the door, whether it's, from college to professional, or from AAA to the big leagues, or from non-40-man to 40-man. That's the toughest thing, because it's such a big decision for these teams. They can only keep so many guys on the roster. So just being able to be added to the 40-man and being activated right away, that's huge. I mean, it can keep you around for an extra couple years. And, I'm stoked to be here, and I hope we can win some ball games while I'm here.
So you find out on Saturday night in Tacoma, Washington, that you're getting the call up.
Mm-hmm.
The Angels have a game in Houston the next day, just after noon. How do you get from Tacoma to Houston in enough time to play in that game?
Yeah, so I probably got the call up at around 6:00. The game was at 7:00 that night. So I packed up my AAA bag and went back to the hotel, took an Uber to the airport in Seattle. Flight was supposed to leave at 11:30 p.m. that night, and I was supposed to get in the next morning at like 6:50, but our flight ended up getting delayed because of a maintenance issue. So it was running like 2.5 hours late. So we left Tacoma at 2:30 in the morning. I didn't get to the Houston until about 9:30 local time. And I literally went straight to the hotel, and they took me to the ballpark. So I didn't even get a chance to take a nap or anything. So I was running on about 2 hours of sleep and a dream and adrenaline at that point. But obviously that day didn't go the way I wanted to, but it was all worth it last night when I hit that single in the night.
I do want to go back to your Major League Baseball debut.
And making his MLB debut, Michael Stefanic at second.
The broadcast showed a shot of you sitting out there at second base, and you're flexing your glove, and it was just like it was probably any other play. But I just felt like you could kind of see for a moment in your eyes, like, I'm here. Did you have that moment? Like, when did it kind of hit you, like, I'm on a big league field in Houston playing for the Angels?
The first time it really hit me was right after the national anthem. I think there was a big ovation, and that ballpark's probably one of the loudest stadiums in baseball. So it was 36,000 people there. It was rocking and rolling that day. And once I heard that first big ovation, I was like, okay, like, it's go time. Like, no more messing around here. Like, you're here. So it was a blast.
You go back to your at-bats, man, and I know that you're going to want to put this in the past, but you, like, never strike out. In 291 career AAA games, you struck out 3 times twice. Yeah. I mean, you never strike out. So how much was that a little bit of an introduction to the big leagues? Because you go back and you kind of look at your ABs, especially your third at-bat. Like, I don't even know how you handle that at-bat differently. Like, the first one was like that double corner pitch, like high and away, barely paints the corner. The second one, probably just a skosh out of the zone. But I mean, there's not a lot of big league hitters that have been around for a while that are coming back from that at bat, especially given the pitch that you're facing. So how do you kind of reflect on that game and the results that you had at the dish?
Yeah, I mean, baseball's weird like that. You know, some days you're the dog and some days you're the hydrant, as I like to say. And that day I was obviously the hydrant, but you know, it's baseball. You really have to flush it and get to the next one, because if you dwell on it for too long, you know, it's just going to eat you up inside. But yeah, that day Valdez had a really good sinker and a really good curveball going. You know, the ball was moving all over the place, and he painted some pitches on me, and I got some tough calls. But that's you know, as a Mariners fan with J-Rod, he's gotten that treatment all year too. So it's part of being a rookie and part of learning the ropes in the show. You may not get all the calls, especially when there's a veteran guy out there on the mound. So you really just got to battle and, you know, be ready to hit from pitch one. That's what, you know, everybody's been telling me. It's like, you may want to be patient, but the first pitch you see of the day may be the best one you're going to see all day. So you got to be ready to hit from pitch one.
So going into game two, you have the off day Monday, you play Tuesday. You don't get the start, but you come off the bench. I heard that was kind of the plan with you, maybe just to give you a moment to breathe. So yeah. if you could explain to us kind of what was the approach for you and the Angels as you did take, you know, part in your second game.
Yeah, so Phil Nevin called me into his office kind of when I got to the field yesterday, and he just told me, you know, hey, like, this is a really tough matchup for righties. Obviously Alcantara's probably going to start in the All-Star game, one of the best pitchers in baseball right now, throws 100 sinkers in on your hands as a righty. So they sat me down, and he said he really just wanted me to, you know, watch a big league game and kind of get in tune with the atmosphere and whatnot. And, you know, if we were down late and there was a lefty up, I would pinch hit. And obviously that's what happened. So yeah, it's a little different role than what I'm used to, but you know, you got to adapt on the fly, hitting the cage when we're in the field, and yeah, just get ready to see 100 out of the pen.
As opposed to, you know, you're at bats on Sunday, this one just went quite a bit different. You were able to kind of work a count in your favor, take a couple of pitches, just, you know, that were just outside of the zone, and then you get one in the middle of the zone that you can hit. How much did that play into kind of your confidence as that at bat progressed right there, where you knew you had a little bit to play with?
Yeah, anytime you get to 2-0, that's what we call a leverage count. So you just want to get a pitch in the middle of the zone and get a good swing off. I was a little late on that, but ended up keeping it fair down the line. And
there's a ground ball that goes fair.
That's a little bit of a honey hole for me down there. I get a lot of hits down that way. So
and right there is his first big league hit. Congratulations, Michael Stefanic.
I mean, I'll take it. And Aguilar tried to give me the ball, and I was like, let's get this moving. We got a ball game. I didn't want any part of it. I just wanted to, you know, get who's up next, Villar and Trout and Ohtani up, so we can try to win this game. But unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Wait, you didn't even want to like pause to get your first major league hit, like the ball from it?
He handed it to me. It's on the video clip. He handed it to me, and I just look at it, and I just flip it right to the dugout. I'm like, let's get this moving. We got a game.
I mean, come on, Mike. This is a moment that every guy that has ever played Little League Baseball has dreamt of. Maybe the emotions are still running too high, but you are in the history books. You have a major league hit to your name, and there are only so many humans that have walked this earth and played this game that can claim that. What does that mean to you?
It means the world. I mean, just everything, like you said, from when you're a little kid, like that's where you want to be. That's the goal. And now being here, it's only motivation and fuel to want to keep me here. I don't want to be one of those guys that just continues to go up and down all the time. Obviously that's out of your control, but the things you can control are your attitude and your effort. And that's the type of player I am, is just to come to the park every day and grind out at bats and play hard and try to get a win for the ball club. So I'm just going to continue to do that. It's worked for me my entire career, and hopefully I stick here.
Michael, what is the biggest difference for you walking into a AAA clubhouse to a major league clubhouse with the Angels?
Biggest thing is just results now matter on the field. Like minor league baseball, of course you want to win, but at the forefront of everybody's mind, it's about development and trying to get you to the big leagues to help that club win. Here it's do or die, man. Every night you live and breathe with every pitch, and you got to do everything you can to get a win for the ball club. It's a bummer when you lose. Nobody's happy, and I'm hoping to get that first win tonight since I've been here, but I would say that's the biggest thing. It's like in AAA, you lose a ball game 3-2 and you pack up, you go home, you go get them the next day. When you're in the big leagues, it's, you sit in the locker room maybe a little longer than you would and think about things and reflect a little more to see how you can change things for tomorrow.
Michael, do you know what the plan is moving forward? So we've seen you start on 2 hours of sleep that took place on a plane. We've seen you come off the bench and pinch hit. Do you know what kind of the plan is moving forward for you?
I know I'm playing tonight, but in terms of the rest of the week, I think it's kind of on a day-to-day basis. I'd love to be in there every night, but especially up here, they love to play the matchup game. If there's a tough righty, they'll load up with lefties and vice versa. So, just take it day by day, be ready to play every day and go in there when they need me. When my name's on the card, I'll play.
I know the game at this level is a little bit different because you guys are all professionals. After you go 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts in your debut, again, something that you've never done as a professional baseball player, that exact stat line. Anybody in the clubhouse either poke fun at you and make you smile or just put their arm around you and say, hey, we got 162 of these things. Opportunities are right around the corner to bounce back.
Yeah, so there was a dude that I played with last year in AAA. His name's Drew Butera. You probably know the name. Catcher on the 13 Royals World Series champion. He's kind of our acting bench coach right now because all of our coaches are suspended from that Mariners brawl. So he came up to me after that first game and he just kind of taps me on the shoulder and is like, hey man, this dude played 10 plus years in the big leagues, like great player. He's like, my first game in the show, 0 for 3 with 3 punch outs. Next at bat, line drive to right center field. So that's exactly what you're going to do next time. So I didn't quite get that, but I did hit a base hit to center right field. And he just taps me on the shoulder and said, see, I told you, buddy. So that was fun. It eased the tension a little bit, made me feel a little bit better. If he can play 10 years in the show after going 0 for 3 with 3 punch outs, I can do the same.
What you've been able to do, we've talked about this a number of times, is incredible. You're not supposed to be in the big leagues. Like, you're not. Like, you are an absolute anomaly when it comes to people that have taken your route to play baseball. Mm-hmm. You were a very good high school baseball player. I think that we would probably agree that you weren't the best in the league at that time. You were just a very good baseball player. Mm-hmm. And then you go and you become the best player ever at Westmont. And now you've progressed through the minor leagues with basically zero investment from the big league team, which does absolutely matter as you climb the ranks. And now you're playing at the highest level there is in baseball. How have you done this?
Bet on yourself. That's it. I mean, that's the beauty of this game and the beauty of just growing up in general. Like in high school, I was, 5'8", 150 pounds maybe. I was just a little kid out there just slapping the ball the other way, getting base hits. But skill comes first, and then all of a sudden in college you pack on a little bit of weight and then a little bit more weight, you get more athletic and you dial your swing in a little bit. And that's the beauty about this game is you can always get better at something. Like there's no reason and there's no place in this game for people who feel like they have it all figured out, because it'll humble you very quickly. So, I mean, as long as you're able to keep working and getting better in some aspect of the game, there's always new ceilings that you're going to be able to break through.